I've always been someone who likes to have a plan, but some of life's best adventures begin with curiosity instead of certainty. Now, the Florida Keys has no shortage of snorkeling tours. That boat right in front of us right there, they are taking some snorkelers out, and I'm sure they're going to have a swell time. But every now and then, it's fun to see what happens when you create the adventure yourself. So that's exactly what my shell friend and I did. We rented a boat, brought along another friend to captain, packed way too many snacks, and headed out across some of the prettiest water Florida has to offer. Now, it took us quite a while to figure out exactly where we wanted to get in the water and start our adventure. So after a bunch of location scouting, we did settle on a shallow area off the 7 Mile bridge, and we were in the water for hours. Was it worth it? And did we see fun stuff? Why, yes, we did. And I can't wait to tell you all about it. So if you're ready to see what the Keys has in store for us today, let's go snorkel the Keys. So this is my first encounter. I was so excited. This is a Bahama sea star. It's also called a cushion sea star. And I have never seen one of these out in the wild before. So boy, was I happy. We drop in. Now this is just for size. I didn't touch it. Just to kind of get, it's huge and beautiful. So that was really exciting. So yeah, I just kind of floated over the sea star for a minute or two, just appreciating just how beautiful it is. Oh, that is cool. All right. What else are we going to encounter? There's going to be a lot of fun stuff. All right. So just because there's urchins everywhere. You're going to be careful. So, all right. That is a juvenile that is alive. So I'm going to try to ever so closely, gently put that down. And there's something I want you to hear because the ocean crackles. I hear this diving, but you're not allowed to hold your breath diving. But when you snorkel, oh, look, another sea star. When you snorkel or you're down there, there's all this crackling going on. It's actually really, really cool. This is a sea biscuit. That's looking pretty rough. I don't know how to clean them effectively, and I'm not feeling like I'm going to be able to do much with that. So I am going to leave that. Oh, there is a queen right there, but I can tell that it is alive. So in a lot of the queens, thank goodness, you can see the animal kind of poking out the front of the shell. So all right, this one I know is empty because there's a fish kind of swimming in and out of it, and I can tell that it's broken. And for me personally, if a fish or there's another critter kind of protecting the empty shell, I'm going to leave it alone. Yep, that's how I'm going to roll. That's how I feel as far as I like a balance from more sea urchins from an ecological standpoint. Yes, I do want to take the shells, but I really want to make sure I'm making as minimal an impact on the environment as possible. There's been a lot of talk out there about said taking of shells and whatnot. This is another sea biscuit. Cool, but it's looking rough. Yeah, I think this one too. And look, I could be holding out for something that's not going to show up. I'm just not going to find clean sea biscuits. But I guess at this point, I'm willing to take my chances. Kind of just got in the water. I'm feeling good, feeling confident. Whoa. Now, that is the biggest horse conch I have ever seen. This thing is absolutely a monster. Oh my gosh. So I'm trying to gently kind of hold it. I want to show you guys. Look at that. That is insane. Now, just for reference, I decided, hey, I'm going to go hold a different shell that I know how big it is. So I ran and I grabbed one of my other horse conchs. So this is about 12 inches from tail to tail. It's kind of hard to measure them, but we're going to call this about a 12-inch horse conch. Now compare that to this. I mean, that thing had to have been twice as big. Oh, it was so exciting, and just another reason I really want to protect the horse conchs. There is a petition we can sign to make sure that they're not commercially harvested. I will put a link in the description box in this video as well. I've talked about it in the past. Hey, can't be too careful with protecting our critters as far as I'm concerned. All right, there is another queen. All right, I guess there was no reason to inspect that. All right, what about this one? Okay, it is empty. And I do see it's broken. And I see a lot of the eastern slipper snails on there. Yeah, it's kind of rough. It's the fact that it's just not in terrific shape that is going to kind of be the deal breaker for me. Cleaning these shells can be very time consuming and lots of chemicals and everything else. So I've just gotten picky. I would just want to take the shells that I think are going to clean up. All right, so I did see a critter in there. Oh, this one. Oh, there's a critter in there too, even though it's popped on its side. Yep. And they'll do that sometimes. I watched them kind of like hopping along the bottom. Oh, look at the stromboid notch and the little eye stalks coming out. So we know that that creature is alive. So I think it's safe to say all of the conservation efforts that have been going on to protect the queen conchs are clearly working here in Florida, because there are tons of the live ones. All right, I see a little, I can't tell if it's an operculum or if it is a crab leg, but that is not empty, that shell there. One way or the other, yeah, not a keeper. Oh, there, all right, let's put this one down, check that one. Or at least look, if you just look in the front of the, all right, apparently we could see. In the front of the shell, you can sometimes see a little critter. Oh, I'm pretty good with my shells, but I am just learning fish. I believe that is a scrawled cowfish. I believe that's what it is. Adorable little thing. I like all the critters, frankly. All right, we'll let that cowfish go. Oh, there's another queen there. They really hide, or the camouflage is incredible. I guess at least from the humans. I don't know. I guess other things can smell them out. All right, there's another shell. Yeah, it's looking pretty rough, but that doesn't mean a darn thing. It just means that it's very, very well camouflaged. So there may be a shell that just looks like there's no way it's been down here for a really long time. And yeah, sure enough, there's a critter in there. So let's see another one coming up here. Juvenile, and I see a little eyeball. So yeah. So if it doesn't have those really pronounced stromboid notches, it means it is a juvenile. All right. Check this one. Very furry. Oh, okay. So it is empty, but it does look like there is an urchin that is taking up residence here. And I see the crab on the bottom. I do see that. I'm going to try to kind of place the shell down. Give the crab back its shell, because I think a couple different things were using that shell. Okay. Keep it moving until I can find one that is completely empty. No hermit crab, no mollusk. That's a lot harder than it sounds, I'll tell you what. Okay, so this is a queen that is upside down, empty, viable, but that fish is clearly protecting its little habitat. So we are going to leave that, or at least I am. I am going to leave that shell alone. It's no problem, buddy. You claimed it first. I'm fine to wait with whatever, hopefully a clean sea biscuit. I can keep my fingers crossed for a empty queen, but we'll see. Oh, speaking of queens, juvenile, and it is alive. Okay. That one I couldn't quite tell, so just give it a little peek. But luckily, you don't have to turn over every single queen. Again, this one is probably empty and being protected by that fish. And while I am not a body language expert when it comes to fish, I'm pretty sure that fish did not want me coming near that shell. And again, that is okay. The visibility was pretty good. I mean, I know this doesn't look it looks a little murky. Believe me, the current was kind of ripping. So we had a lot of things we had to kind of take into account. The weather, the tides. Luckily, it was nice and warm. So I was not complaining about being cold, and I remembered my fins. So that was also a bonus. Okay, I'm looking, yeah. Nope. Oh, it's so pretty, but it's taken. All right, Miss Queen. Yeah, there were, and I'm not even showing you, there were so many. They were all over the place. And it I wouldn't say discouraging, but it feels like, every time you come upon one, it's going to be alive. But every now and then, you will get a little bit lucky. All right, I haven't gotten lucky yet, but I'm still feeling like it's possible. Here's another queen. Survey says alive. Oh, yeah, that is one camouflage shell. Okay, that's all right so far. All right, what about this one? This one's very, very furry. Yep, nope. Queen is again alive and well. Okay. Now I mentioned in the beginning of the video, it did take us a hot second to kind of really figure out where we wanted to get into the water. But at this point, I had been snorkeling for over an hour, and I actually started feeling a little nauseated. So I took a break because I wasn't done, but I wanted to take a little break, popped out on the boat. Look what my friend gifted me, this beautiful sea biscuit. So I know I will go home with at least one of those little beauties. And it's like a sand dollar. It's an urchin. It's in that same family. You can see the 5 little petals on it, just like our sand dollars. Now I see another queen, but you know what else I see? Yes. Now, I don't pay attention to pen shells. However, there is one I do not have, and it's called an amber pen shell. So we have stiff pen shells, half-naked pen shells, sawtooth pen shells, and then this particular one I've never seen before. And even though I don't pay a lot of attention to them, I haven't seen this one. That's kind of cool. I'm going to collect that. So that is an amber pen shell that will need to go and bleach, and it'll clean up eventually. Couple little fish. All right, that's cool. Something else to collect. Oh, another empty queen, but she is rough. Very, very. Oh, and she's rough, and she's already taken. So we do have a little hermie in here. Maybe not so little. The giant red hermit crabs will obviously take up residence in these queen conchs. Just to show you how big they get. Oh, hello, cutie. And I would also like to acknowledge this is not necessarily a shell I would have wanted to keep anyway. So crab, thank you. Thank you for picking a shell that looked like this. It is perfect for a hermit crab. Okay, let's see if I can find a shell that's perfect for a human. One that's maybe kind of pink and kind of shiny, definitely empty. Let's see. Holy spikes. Whoa. So I have not seen an urchin with the spikes quite as impressive as that. So I believe this is an Atlantic long-spined urchin. Holy cow. So like the other ones were kind of tucked underneath rocks and whatnot, but this one is just full display in all its glory. Yeah, I'm keeping my distance. I have been stung by an urchin and it feels terrible. Absolutely terrible. In Jamaica, I got stung by one. So yeah, I'll keep my distance and keep on looking for an empty queen. There's one. Okay, I must have seen a proboscis or something in there. Now there was this little island and I did want to kind of walk around and check it out. So I took my fins off and I just wanted to look a little bit. Look, a real pretty little urchin test. Okay, and I think that was a stocky cerith. All right, cool. So I'm not going to spend too much time up here, but I wanted to just check it out a little bit because, you know, the nerites would be cool. That's an American star shell. I know this camera isn't really meant for this kind of filming, but I didn't have my good camera on me, you know, because I was snorkeling and all. So this is another, no, I didn't get it. What about this? All right, so that is another American star shell, which I have never found before, or if I have, it has been on the East Coast. And there's another one. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that other one is in a little bit better condition. And we'll take another little peek at the end of the video. But oh, that's cool. I don't have any American star shells. That's awesome. And this little shell, maybe a frog shell. I couldn't really tell, but I'm not gonna be able to keep it either way. Yep, there's definitely a little Hermie in there. So it almost looks like a Distorcio, but it's not. And it's very blurry. So yeah, again, this camera is not the camera for this kind of shelling, but we do have a little mystery shell I'm not gonna be able to keep. Put that down. So I was also wondering if there were any nerites here. That's also something that, oh, a live vase. So that's a Caribbean vase that is alive. Oh man, how I want to clean that shell, but yeah. The critter is not quite done with it yet. Okay. So keep seeing if or keep hunting, see if I see any nerites. What do we got here? Oh, isn't that neat? Now the color didn't come across here. The underside is a very bright yellow. Not quite as bright as like say a Buttercup Lucine, but that was neat. I just went through my entire bivalve book. I have absolutely no idea what that is. Fun little shell. All right, there is another American star shell. And I was checking them really, really well. And ultimately, almost all of them had critters in it. It took a minute for them to kind of reveal themselves, but I just kind of kept checking the shells, kept checking, and I kept finding critters, or if it was questionable, yeah, I was going to leave it because I'd feel terrible. I mean, we can check our bags again once we pull off, but still, might as well just make sure I'm only taking safe shells at this point. So this is a nerite, which I was really, really hoping for. Yay. It is empty. I'm going to check it a couple times. It's not in like great shape. It's fine. I still don't have many, so I'm just happy even if it's kind of in not great shape. That's okay. Win. Yay. Nerite for the win. Here is another one that's in a little bit better shape. Woohoo. So yeah, they got like a cool checkered, again, not that this camera is the right camera. Sorry about that, but let's see. Oh, another one. That one's rather big. Wow. Again, the American star shell. Oh, that's really cool. And yeah, like I said, I was checking them and checking them and checking them. And even my nerite that looked pretty good, there's a hermit crab in there. So yeah, the big nerite, I was the one that's a little bit beat up. Yeah, that one really was empty. I was able to keep that, but if I remember correctly, I had to return just about all the star shells. Everything else had to go back. Yeah. So pop back in the water and check out these two roommates. So we do have an urchin and there's also a crab in there. And it just made me think about different species and critters and how they kind of interact, like the gopher tortoise. I know it's a land animal, but it digs out burrows and a whole bunch of other critters actually use those burrows. So that's just what that reminded me of. Okay, so I do want to take another little break, and so got back on the boat, kind of looked through our goodies, and we have a hitchhiker. So it happens all the time. It's probably a pygmy octopus, and I'm very happy I have gloves on. I ordinarily wouldn't really try to handle it. I'd just be afraid of getting a little nip. Oh, it's so cute. So yeah, got to say hi to an octopus. There you go, friend. It would probably had crawled inside of one of those other shells. And so you do like to check them really, really well. Now, I had to return all of my shells, but my friend gifted me some. So I will also be taking some empty American star shells home. Woot, woot. Good. It's good to have friends that have really good shell detecting eyes. I tell you what, who are also very generous. All right, another queen and another set of eyeballs poking out of those stromboid notches. And that is why the horse conch is not a true conch, because it doesn't have those notches. What do we have here? Oh, finally, I think. We got, all right, there's no critter in there. Now I got to kind of ascertain if there's a crab or something really hiding in there. All right, let's see. Oh, no, well, I won't really drag this out much longer. It was empty. That is a keeper that I'm going to get to bring home. Yes! So got to check out a lot of live shells and finally managed to find an empty one. Oh, that's great. That's just great. So that goes in my shell bag. And guess what? I think I had landed in the right area because here is a second one just like that. So I've been snorkeling for hours and hours and hours. And then find two empty queens in a matter of minutes. minutes of each other anyway. Yeah, check this one out. That one is also empty, but it's not in great shape. So I'm going to be a shell snob and just hold on to this other one. That first one looked great. This one looks pretty good. Yeah, that one looks pretty good too. It's hard to, bleach will take care of a lot of that. Hopefully I won't have too much grinding to do. So, yep, I'm going to take that for sure. Yep. Fantastic. Oh, that's great. Yay. That's what we came here for. And look, if I didn't find it, that would have been okay too, but I'm not going to lie. It's cool that we did find a couple of queens. Okay, that fish is protecting that empty queen, and that's all right. I have two. I don't need a third. Plus, that's a hermit crab shell. And fish can have it. All right, any other empties? And again, I wish we had landed in this spot in the beginning of the day, but at least we found it. That's another horse conch. Do you see it? And I see the body in it too. It's probably eating something. So they kind of just take their entire foot, like their body, and just kind of like, I'm just for size, I'm showing you. Yeah, another big one. Not quite as massive as that first one we saw earlier. But it's probably just, it takes its body and just kind of like completely covers its prey and then eats it. Oh, we have another shit. Oh no, yeah, there's somebody in there. Yep. Somebody is home, but still, yay. All right, we got a little bit of time here. All right, so this is a brittle star. You're gonna have a hard time seeing it. I know. I was going for the sea biscuit, and it's in kind of terrible shape. But their little brittle star was on it, and it has kind of crawled inside it anyway. And that's what you really, when you're in these kind of conditions, you got to check your shells again and again, or at least I do. I check them several times just to make sure we don't have any hitchhikers. So that is a brittle star, another critter that we got to see, and holy cow. What an amazing little adventure. I was thrilled that we were successful at finally finding a couple of empty queens, not to mention the sea biscuits and the star shells and the critters, the octopus, the urchins, the live queens, the Caribbean vase, the hermit crabs, all the different fish. You know, I might have been a little nervous not knowing what to expect, but these adventures are becoming far less intimidating because I can trust myself to navigate whatever comes my way. Now, I do have another snorkeling trip planned in the Keys in about a month where I'll happily leave the logistics to the captain and guide, but this experience gave us the chance to see what it was like to plan everything ourselves and to discover that once again, we were more than capable of creating a memorable day all on our own. Now, there was a wee bit of garbage. I did pick up 0.7 ounces, and that means in total I've removed a little over 96 pounds of garbage from beaches. And I did get a couple of sea biscuits. Now, these are in pretty good condition. Some of them are cleaner than other ones. Yeah, that one little one's really clean. And then, yeah, they look really, okay, I think that other one there. So they look really, really good. The amber pen shells, I did manage to get 3 of them. That mystery shell, see how much more yellow it is? I don't know what that is. If anyone knows, help me out in the description below. The star shells, we're going to take another quick look at that in just a second. And then the queens. So, yeah, that one with a really pretty interior, I'm not worried at all. I'm pretty sure that's going to clean up wonderfully. And the other one, well, just gonna have to see. I will put that in bleach and I will, just see what happens with that. Now the star shells, we have a couple different kinds. These are the American star shell, kind of tall. This is a long spire star shell. So it's still a star shell, but it's a little bit different. Those I have found before. So those, the American star shells, the long spire star shell, and then the Nerite. Yeah, it's rough, but it was empty. And, you know, it's getting a little bit better. It has most of its covering on it. So, yeah, I'm going to hold on to that until I get a really good, legitimate Nerite. And Patreons, just for you, we kind of messed around the day before, and we went snorkeling and found a couple of things. So I'm going to put together that video just for you, and I'm going to post that over on Patreon. Most of my content is free. There's no gatekeeping. It's over on YouTube. But for my Patreons who monetarily support me, I do try to give them a little extra content as a thank you. Now, next week, we are heading to the 10,000 Islands. There was a little dust up of a storm. I heard the shelling was good. Don't know. Going to have to wait. And plus, what does good mean anyway? Your good might not be my good. So I'm going to go and find out. So until then, I hope you have yourself a wonderful week, and I'll see you again next Sunday.